Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Room. Today we'll be learning about various reproductive phases of life in humans. So we'll be focusing about reproductive phases which typically belongs to humans. So reproductive phases of life in humans. In females, the reproductive phase of life begins at puberty. So even in case of male, the reproductive phase begins at the life of puberty. We all know adolescent periods, puberty period. It occurs at 10 to 12 years of age and generally lasts till the age of 45 to 50. So we are explicitly talking about females here. And generally in male, it starts from the age of 15 to 16, and it doesn't end, it goes on. And to be your to be your surprise, male sperms have no deadline. They can reproduce till the age they die, but females have a expiry date on their female gametes, and that date is 50 years to 45 years. So the female reproductive phase starts from 10 to 12 years and end at 45 to 50 years. So you can see in this picture, uh, girls mature very fast. So by the age they reach at the age of 12 or 13, there is a sort of physical description of physical appearance which enhance and which reflects that maybe they have started their puberty age period. So this was about females. So we'll be talking about females here. The ova begin to mature with the onset of puberty, which matures and is released by one of the ovaries once in 28 to. So this is about menstruation. So what happens? Menstrual cycle appears once in a month, 28 to 30 days. So our ovaries releases one egg each time within a month. So the ova begin to mature with the onset of ovaries, and it releases one egg. So that egg, every month our uterus is prepared to hold it. The uterus has a conception that every time an egg is released, a sperm is going to come and get fused with it, and there will be a formation of zygote or embryo. But that doesn't happen. And in case there is no implantation, no embryo, there is no fusion of the egg plus sperm, the uterus lining, which it had already prepared for the implantation of the zygote, which it thought that there would be an implantation, that lining would shed. So that lining sheds, and that lining sheds in the form of menses. That menses is what we call menstrual cycle. So the blood which flows in the menstrual cycle is because of the uterus lining, because uterus has a conception that there would be a fusion and there would be implantation of the zygote, and it will later convert into an embryo. But that doesn't happen, and that egg remain unfused, and that unfused egg has to shed its content. That content is shed through menstrual cycle. The wall of the uterus becomes thick so as to receive the egg in case it is fertilized. So uterus always prepares the lining, endometrium is the inner lining of the uterus. So uterus always prepares itself for the fusion. But if in case the egg remains unfertilized, the lining sheds away. So the wall of the uterus becomes thick so as to receive the egg in the fertilized state and begins to develop. So and later results into the pregnancy, because zygote converts into embryo to the fetus. So this is all about the fertilized egg. What happens in the fertilized egg? Fertilized eggs get fertilized with the sperm, then there is formation of embryo. But in case of unfertilized egg, there is a process known as menstrual cycle. So you can see here, fertilization is the fusion of egg with the sperm. And then later it is implantation. Implantation happens between 5 to 10 days after intercourse. And then the pregnancy. So this is the normal pregnancy cycle in the female. So sperm fuses with the egg. After 5 to 15, the one cell zygote gets implanted, and then the normal pregnancy symptoms appears within the 2 to 3 months of intercourse. If what happens in the fertilization doesn't occur, I've already told you the lining of the uterus sheds away. So if fertilization does not occur, the released egg and the thickened lining of the uterus along with this blood vessel are shed away. This happens only if the egg is unfertilized. If egg is fertilized, the normal pregnancy symptoms would go on. But in case it doesn't have, the egg along with the lining sheds away in the form of blood menses. This causes bleeding in women, which is called menstruation. So menstruation occurs every time in 28 to 30 days. So what did we get after reading this? We get every month an egg is released by the ovary. So the reproductive cycle of the female is that it can conceive the baby or the sperm with 12 times a year. So this is what we have made out from it, and the egg which is fertilized leads to the pregnancy, and in the egg which is not fertilized leads to the menstruation. Now, menarche and menopause. So we know the reproductive cycle of females starts from 10 to 12 and it ends to 45 to 50. So after this, our eggs, females' eggs expire. After 45 to 50 years of age, we cannot reproduce, we cannot get pregnant. So menarche is the first menstrual flow that begins at puberty. So the first periods or first menstrual cycle was menarche. If you're already at the age of 12, you'll witness this, or you have already witnessed this, so you're familiar with this. And menopause is when the menstrual cycle stops. So 45 to 50 years of age. You can ask your grandmas about it, your mamas about it. They'll teach you more about menopause, menstruation, menarche. So menarche is 11 to 12 years when the menstrual cycle starts. First menstrual cycle, menstruation happens till the age of 50, and menopause stops after the age of 50. So this was about menstrual cycle and the reproductive phases which happens in the case of female. Fertilized egg, unfertilized eggs. In the next video, we'll be talking about sex determination, or how the females are different from males at the level of chromosomes. So I'll see you in the next video.